Like
Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to welcome you today in English. Are you okay with this being in English? Are there any French one among you who are feeling a bit lost? If so, just say it in the comments. Type, please go slowly. My guest and I, we will do that. We will speak slowly. We will try to be really clear. And if it's not clear, please let us know in the comments because we're here to be understood. Okay, so we don't want to leave you aside. Don't hesitate to tell us if you're a bit lost. We are so very happy to be here with you today. So today I'm holding this show, SOS, She's on Stage, because especially in France, I've attended to many events where there were just male experts on stage or at the webinars. And when I talked to the organizers of such events, they always told me, well, I didn't know where to find a woman. And I told them, well, it's good news I have for you because I do know many experts who are women and who are experts not only in a special field, but also of public speaking. And so today I'm delighted to welcome a guest, which is starting to become a real friend, isn't she? And my guest today is Dr. Joyce Carols. So please, a warm round of applause, and if you have the smiley faces and the thumbs up, please hit them to welcome Dr. Joyce Carols. Hello.
hi, good evening.
So I'm
And
so happy to see you here, Joyce.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Yes, sorry. Do you remember how we met?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. We saw each other in Paris. We saw each other online. Actually, we were busy with setting up Europe's women speakers to connect with women speakers in Europe to show that there are actually women speakers out there who can handle stages and who love to be there. So yeah, that's how we met, online and offline. And I'm always so thrilled to speak to you and connect with you, and connect to Claire, who is there too, and I see Julie, I see Juliette, talk. Really cool, all the women. It is amazing to see everybody and to connect with each other and see how we can put more awareness to the fact that there are amazing women out there who own the stages and who rock the stages. Exactly. And who are flexible. And they are so inspiring and so motivational. That is why I really want to go the extra mile, like you, to support them.
And I know you've been doing that for years. I'm just starting, but actually you've been doing that for years, always trying to add more diversity, because this is really what it's all about. We want just more diversity. Okay, not just one point of view, a diverse point of view.
Yeah, it's not only women, it's more than that. It's a diverse stage. It's not only the male 40s white guys that take over. They are absolutely brilliant, and we need everybody, every single person in this room and out there. But if we can get more diverse representation of the world and voices of the world, that would be so much better.
We do have men present tonight. We have Francis. Hello, Francis. He held a live show for 50 shows, 50 days. And he ended the last one last Friday. So he said, now I can watch yours. I'm available now. And this is Sylvain too. And he says, nice to listen to English version of She's on Stage. Yes, congratulations, Sylvain. So please, if you get lost, if we are speaking too fast, tell us in the comments, okay? And we will repeat. I can translate if you want.
Yes, sometimes I have a tendency to go really fast because I am so passionate about my topics and diversity and bringing more diversity to stages. So if I go too fast, please tell me. I will slow down.
Yes, you can do that because you have a field of expertise, and this field of expertise is supporting people to maximize their performance and impact. Can you tell us what this is?
Well, I've always had a passion of bringing people to that next level. If it were my employees when I was in the corporate world, if it was a friend, if it was a teammate when I was in the national team, bringing each other, lifting each other up, and getting that twinkle back in people's eyes, that really makes me happy. It is my mission, it is my passion. So maximizing people's performance and impact is what we've done as top sport athletes. It's what I've done in the corporate world, and it's what I'm doing now in supporting and mentoring C-suite managers, aspiring speakers who want to be on stage or do a TED talk, or just an entrepreneur who wants to go that next level, or a person who is stuck in their mindset and they want to, go the extra mile, improve themselves. So everybody can maximize their performance and impact. We all have an impact on the world, and how it doesn't matter how small you think you are. Some wise person, and I can't remember the name, once said, try to sleep with a mosquito in the room. And that's something that always stuck in my head. The little things make huge differences, and little people with little voices, like we sometimes tend to think we have, can make a huge difference in the world. And we can make an impact, and we can improve our performance on a daily basis, as long as you want to grow and as long as you want to learn. So that is what I do. And
That
I
is
love
interesting. And you mentioned a word which is really characteristic of what you're doing. It's mindset. How did you come to become such an expert on mindset, and especially the success mindset?
Well, success mindset for me is more than a growth mindset. Growth mindset is already a positive thing. You want to grow from good to great. But success mindset always goes one step beyond that, into really putting things in action, taking that extra step to execute the idea, to take the extra step towards your dream, towards your goal, towards the unthinkable. And the unthinkable is where I actually came from. It was a long, long time ago, really long time ago, that I was standing as an 8-year-old little girl on a field hockey pitch. And field hockey, I was really passionate about, Nathalie.
Oh, I'm going to translate for those French people who don't really know what it is. C'est du hockey sur gazon, field hockey. Okay, and Joyce she was training at 8 years old.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was always dreaming about becoming one of the national team players, because I was there and I watched my trainer, and he played the European Championship and he won, and he was like a really inspiring guy. He was always motivating, he was always positive, and he was always stretching himself to go beyond everything thinkable. And I was like, how do you do this? How do you keep motivating yourself? And he was motivating us to go the extra mile. And then I thought, when I grow up, I want to be just like him. I want to be there on that stage playing in the World Series against Argentina. And so I dreamed and I trained and I, did everything in my power to get there. And when I almost got there, I had an accident.
Oh.
And unfortunately, I broke my neck, apparently. And there I woke up in a hospital, and after the accident, and the neurologist, he told me that I had a 99% chance of never, ever walking again. So there went my dream, and he said, just, forget about it. You will never play anymore. You will never walk anymore. Just, be comfortable in a wheelchair, adapt yourself, and accept it.
Oh, that's really interesting, because I know that you are not on a wheelchair today.
No,
And
I'm
you
not.
said there were 99% of changes. And what
Yeah.
did you hear?
Well, I heard one because he didn't say 100. And I thought somebody has to be that fool. Somebody has to beat the odds because otherwise he would have said 100. So
Good.
the next morning, I asked him to confirm the 99%. And he was sort of surprised, like, because he said, yes, it's true. And I was like, sort of, cheering and like, yay, that's good news. And he was like, what? You're crazy. And I said, well, if you say a 99%, then there is 1% left. And somebody has to be that 1%. So last night I decided that it would be me because I still want to play against Argentina. And he was like, you're crazy. You have a concussion. Go to sleep. Don't bother me. He was in utter shock. And I was like, I'm going to do it. This is my dream. Nobody's taking my dream away. So I kept visualizing and sort of smelling the grass, feeling my stick, feeling the movements, my everything that I dreamed of, came back to me every single day. And I had a fight with him for 6 months because for 6 months he tried to convince me to accept it, and I tried to convince him that I would be the 1%. Mm-hmm. Well, to make a really long story absolutely short, 6.5 years later, I stood on the field hockey pitch playing the World Series against Argentina, against all odds.
Oh, I love this story. You went to Argentina in a World Championship?
Yeah.
And after you were told that you had 1% chance of ever walking, not even playing field hockey, quite, just walking. So for this, I think you should give my guest a round of applause. So you have fingers, you have little signs on YouTube, on Facebook. Please use them because she deserves them so much. And I'm really, really glad you didn't give up. So that's congratulations.
Well, yeah, that's the story behind it. Never give up, and even impossible things are possible. If I'm not somebody special. I'm just just me, and if I can, I'm so convinced if I can chase my dreams and get them, and every single dream I had, I achieved, and every time when I achieve something, it's like, now I have to think of something new.
Something new. You have to find another idea. Okay, so, I read an article recently, which I can't find again. I've been searching the web to find it. It was about this journalist, a woman. She had to do an article on this life list you have, a life goal you want to achieve. And the list should be about 50 life goals or 100 life goals. And she had this list, and 1 year later, she had to do an article, a follow-up, to say what she had achieved in 1 year. And as she was sitting down to write the article, she realized that she had maybe accomplished one of the goals on her life list. And she was talking to her child, and the child, her daughter, she had been really enthusiastic at this idea of a life list the year before. And she did the same life list, not the same as her mother, her own list. And by the time a year had passed, she had accomplished nearly half what was on this life list. And her mother was just astonished because she had been focusing every day on this life list. For example, she wanted to go to Paris. She studied French, and her French teacher organized for the first time ever a trip to Paris. So she went to Paris. And what was really unbelievable for her family actually happened. So I think if you focus on a really clear objective, all your choices get in place to make you achieve this goal. I think that's what you demonstrate with your story.
Yeah, it is. And it's more than think about it. It is really living it. It's really feeling it. It's like it's already there. I was laying in that bed. I couldn't do anything, but really, really feeling it. I could smell the artificial grass, which smells like nothing, but just imagining it, imagining being there, imagining listening to a national anthem, and imagining being amongst your teammates, and how my stick would feel, how my shoes, what my shoes would look like,
Making it real, really,
Maybe
with the senses.
I knew my opponent. I knew who I wanted to play against, and I could draw her. I had seen a picture of her once, but still I could draw her. I
You were
knew
so
what to look
focused,
like.
yeah.
I was so laser focused, but it came from the heart. It didn't came from my head. It was really something that I lived in it was ingrained in every cell of my body. And that is, true passion and true dreams are ingrained in every single cell of your body. So each movement you make, every thought you have is geared towards that goal. And I see a lot of people struggle. I see a lot of people not getting where they want to. And it's mindset.
That is exactly my next point is, why is that important? Why is it important to people? And before we get to that, I just wanted to underline that you had a round of applause from Francis, from Julie and Juliette. And Francis reminded me that it's also called a bucket list, but life list exists, and I prefer life list. Bucket, it refers to a special challenge that was issued among college people, and I prefer the life list. Both exist, but it's cool to remind us of that. So why is it important? What your subject? Why are you speaking about it to people? Have you seen examples of people who needed this speech of yours?
Absolutely. All the thousands and thousands of people I had in the audiences, or in trainings, or in workshops, or which I mentor all over the world. When people suffer, they suffer from mindset. It isn't that they don't know what to do. It isn't that they don't have the knowledge to go there. It isn't that they, sometimes they say, I don't have the time. Sometimes they say, I don't have the money. If you really want something, the money will get there. You will find a way to get it. You will find a way to find the time, because then time is a priority. And, you choose differently. For me, time management is a matter of choice. Do you choose to sit behind the screen, or do you choose to work on your passion? All these little choices add up. And so mindset is 90% of your success and of your performance. If you really want something, then you're persistent, you're consistent, you really do it, you really go the extra mile. A lot of people also, when we were top sport athletes, people asked us for autographs and all these things. And now when I'm on stage, the same thing happens. But they see like this small percentage of me. They don't see the hard work. They don't see the failure. They don't see the tears and the sweat, the nights that you continue. They don't see all the hiccups that were there. They only see that, 5 minutes on stage where you have your 5 minutes of fame, I always say. But for me, it's the whole journey. And if you can enjoy the whole journey and you don't do it for the end result, then, the end result is fun. But the journey is where all the learning is. The journey is where your growth is. The journey is where you get that twinkle back in your eye and where you get the tears in your eye. But both are fine. There is no failure in my book. There is only learning. I made, I think, zillions of mistakes. I've been called crazy. I can't even remember how many times.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, but you know what? I am crazy enough to think I'm going to succeed. And I do. Because I have that little bit of craziness. We all need that little bit of craziness. We all need a little bit of humor. We all need a little bit of self-doubt to get us going. It is what you allow yourself. Persistency, consistency, the power of a positive mindset, like Claire said, absolutely brilliantly spot on. You have to enjoy the journey. And, even tiny little steps are progress. This thumb could move, not even what I show you right now. And still I thought, if you can move, then I can get my body to move.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a nail thick that I could move, but I felt it. And I thought, if I can get new pathways in my brain to get you to move, then I can do the same for the rest of my body.
Yeah.
And then I can play against Argentina. So it is also celebrating those little tiny steps of progress. It is also celebrating the fact that you are here today, that we are alive. Nathalie, so many people waste their lives. I see so many people throw their lives away. I can tell you from experience, it can be over in a snap. It is a waste of time. Don't do it. Surround yourself with good people. Find a mentor. Find positive, supporting group of peers around you, and ditch the negativity yourselves. Really mind your words, but also the people around you. If we all know that one person in the room that is always nagging, negative, gossiping. Ditch them. Really, delete them from your group, because it is literally the rotten apple in the bowl of fruit. You don't want it. You don't need it. It's a waste of your time, and it's precious. Time is absolutely brilliantly precious, and we should be thankful to be alive. And if I can only inspire one person today to be 1% happier tomorrow, we already achieved something.
So let's see if they are inspired by your words. Who thinks he's going to be more inspired tomorrow, he or she? What does this inspire you to do? Something that you could change tomorrow or next week, that you could achieve right now. I love what Claire is writing. She says, "So true. Ditch the mood hoovers." That's our friend Claire.
Claire, I can tell a really cool story about Claire and I. Speaking of ditching the mood hoovers, we were both in Manila, and we were supposed to be on a television and radio station at the same time. I left 3 hours prior to the interview, because Manila traffic can be really challenging. And it was like a 10-minute ride. I came too late.
Oh no.
I was in a cab driving around Manila, being stuck in traffic for more than 3 hours. So I was actually late in the studio, and Claire was already there in this huge positive mood. And I could, just looking at her and feeling her positive energy, I could do nothing but smile and being happy and thinking, okay, you know what? We're in Manila. We're having a blast. I'm sitting here with this wonderful lady who I just met, being interviewed by a guy who was the most fun guy ever, at the other side of the world. What is 3 hours? What is a grumpy traffic jam and a grumpy cab driver? And it was gone in an instant, and we had the best interview ever. So it is.
I'm glad you're really doing a favor to your friend, because she's going to be the next international speaker on She's on Stage.
Really?
The next 3 weeks, guys, I'm going to be on holiday. So you're going of best moments from the previous She's on Stage. And the first one, which is going to be live again, is going to be on the 27th, I think, of July, and it's going to be with Claire Boscott. So Claire, I'm really hoping you're going to tell us more about Manila.
Oh yeah, well, watch it, because her energy really will blow you away. We have to slow her down too.
So now, for the moment, it's you who is my guest, and I've asked you about your best moment on stage. And now I'm going to share my screen, so I have to power up the speaker a little bit. Here you are. Yeah. And I'm going to share a video. It's a very short video of you on stage. So let's do that right now, which is here. Are you ready, guys? Here we go.
With a success mindset, failure is not an option. You can do, achieve, or overcome anything as long as you set your mind to it. This is my philosophy behind all the systems and everything I do and every breath I take.
Okay, so can you tell us, Joyce, what was the stage? What was the occasion? How did you feel? Why did you choose this moment?
Well, actually, you asked me what is your best moment on stage, and I think every single person here who is a speaker can relate to the fact that as an international speaker, we always go the extra mile to create the best experience ever. So, choosing one particular moment of all the times I've been on stage was, I think, it is difficult, but I never want to brag because I don't like to brag, because what is bragging? Why should I choose the best moment? I thought, I have fond memories of this one because, well, as I said, we were in Manila, and it was I think the third speak in a row. We've been speaking for the television and radio. We were for the speaker conference there to support our fellow speakers in the Philippines. And then they asked us to be on this HR summit, which is the biggest summit, the biggest HR summit in the Philippines every year. And I really liked the ambience. Why? Because we were there with all the speakers, and we were actually sitting at one table, and there was so much support to one another. And that's why I chose it for your show today, because this show is all about support, supporting the speaker community, supporting one another. It's what I've been, doing, and what my aim is with Europe's women speakers when we started it 3 years ago. It is supporting, women, women supporting men, but speakers, the speaker community is such a close, positive group of people. And that's what I felt, being on a stage in front of a huge room filled with HR people who, mainly some were there because they wanted to be, and some were there because they had to be from their boss. They were sent by their bosses. But having that first table in front of you, cheering you on, and wishing you toy just before you go on stage, that closeness, that support, is what speaking for me is all about. It isn't about the fame on stage. It isn't about, it's getting your message across, but it is supporting other people. And that's what I found as an international speaker was for me the most heartwarming environment to be, is amongst other speakers, because we support each other. We fly halfway around the world on our own costs to speak for the Philippine Speaker Association for free. Why do we do that? Why do I, do this? Why did Claire do this? Why did Bob do this? Why do we all flew in? There were 20 international speakers flying in to Manila to support a group of people that wanted to be speaking on international stages for free. We all paid our own tickets. We all paid our own hotel bills. We do that because we care. Mm-hmm. We care about the audiences we speak to, and we care for each other. And, I've been working in the corporate world for years and years and years. I've been working for Fortune 500 companies. I still mentor a lot of C-suite managers, but I never found more support and a more warm community than the speaker community internationally is. And so this was for me not my best moment on stage, but one of the best and fondest memories, because it is so representative of what my message is. You can do, achieve, or overcome anything as long as you set your mind to it. But it is also the feeling behind it, that no matter where in the world you are, there is always a seasoned speaker who has your back, who wants to support you, who takes care.
I agree with that. I felt that. I think it's because of the message we want to share, to transmit. It's always a positive message. Okay, if you want to tell people kill everybody, nobody would be on stage. So we all have such positivism, that when we meet, of course, it's like being in a room full of enthusiastic people, warm-hearted, who really have the best interests of others at heart. And I love that feeling, the feeling we got at Elevate. I think I really went through two wonderful days, and I'm really sad that it didn't happen this year. But next year we will meet again, maybe there. So it's time, Joyce, for your commercial break, because it's been half an hour already, and it's time for a little commercial break. So what do you have to sell?
What do I have to sell? Oh yeah, I'm not the salesy type of person, but yeah, it's not who I am. First of all, I have a new mentor program coming up. I got so many requests and so many questions, especially during the COVID period, which was a challenging time for all the international speakers and trainers out there, because we all lost a lot of our income. And they were all asking me questions like, how do you do it? How do you survive? Because, although I lost 80 to 90% of my income in one day, I never worried. I never itched, because I just changed my programs. I just changed my strategy. And I mentor on a yearly basis. I have a private mentor group of people that I really support and mentor myself. And I thought, you know what, I get so many questions. I will open up my personal private mentor group again, which I normally don't do. For people, if they really want to be mentored for half a year, they can enter the program, and I will support them with their, either it's a speaking business, or if it's a combination, or it's an entrepreneur who wants to grow, I will support them for half a year on really in my personal time to move them forward, and to maximize their performance and impact. So that is what I do.
Okay, I will put the line, not the line, the address, the web address after the show on the description, so they can find it. But I think my little finger is telling me that you also came with a gift.
Absolutely, yeah. I brought a gift. I brought a checklist, which you can actually really take a close look at, and see if everything you need as an entrepreneur. And even international speakers, yes, guys, we are entrepreneurs, and we need to see ourselves as business and not just as a speaker, because a lot of people is doing that. I brought my checklist, which I usually only share with my mentor group, and I give it to you for free. Just go over each and every bullet to see where you stand and what you need as an international speaker to really amp up your business and take it to the next level. So that's
thank you for this wonderful gift, Joyce, that you are giving our readers, our viewers. And I'm going to put the link where they can access the checklist after the show. So who is interested in this checklist? Please say so in the comment. And we're going to go to the next phase, which is the hey, ask her anything moment. I love this moment.
Yeah, so,
in the chat, you can ask your questions. That can be about your personal experience. That can be an advice they would like you to give them. They have about 20 minutes maximum to ask you your questions and for you to answer them. So I've already seen some comments being added. So let's go. So yeah, that's first the comments about the checklist. So you have a merci from Claire. And Francis is saying, yes, please. He's really interested too.
You get it.
And thanks to remind us that the speaker is an entrepreneur. Yeah, of course.
Yes, you are.
We are freelancers and we need some expertise sometimes, because we are experts on the topic, but we're not necessarily experts on commercial, how to brand our product and how to sell ourselves. And by the way, the next AFCP day, which is the French Speaking Association, is going to teach us, to show us how we can sell ourselves as a speaker. So it's going to be really interesting. You're going to learn more about that tomorrow, or tomorrow you're going to be informed about that if you're a member of the recipe.
Selling from stage is so important, and actually, you can do it in 5 minutes without even sounding salesy. And I know a lot of us, we're so good in what we do, and we know our topics, and we care, so we want to bring and we want to give. And we have a tendency of forgetting that we have a business to run, and especially in the COVID situation, a lot of us lost their income because there was no passive income. They didn't have multiple streams of income, and that is really something that I teach people how to do that. And I think with each and every single person in this room right now, we can just build an empire without them even hopping on stage, because they have the knowledge, and the only thing they have to do is monetize and transform the knowledge into something else. And if I can do anything to support you with that as your mentor, please feel free to ask.
I've added a question myself, because that was starting to be a bit long for the others to write that question. So I had a question about DRS, doctorate.
Yeah. In the Netherlands, we have several layers of going through university, and you have like the masters in the English. You have a doctor, and you have something in between. So I studied at university. I studied psychology and psychosocial studies, and so we get like these titles. And once my mentor said, "Oh, you have a title. You have to wear it. Wear it, be proud of it." And humble as I was, like, I don't want to do this and don't do it. But the strange thing is, if you use it, people have a tendency of first of all, you have a conversation, which is pretty funny. And second of all, sometimes they really want to, they sort of value it more than without it, which I find strangely, because I see a lot of people without any education being far better than a lot of people that came from university. So for me, a degree is not something. It's something to be proud of because you achieved it. But Cecile asked, the doctor part is like 4 years more. So I did 4 years of study, which I prolonged a little bit. And if you want to be a doctor in the Netherlands, you have to do another 4 years. But I already started working because I love the interaction. I'm not the book and research type of person, especially in psychology. There's a lot of research. I really wanted to implement. I really am pragmatic. So this is what I do. I've been working in marketing. I've been working in sales for huge, fast-moving consumer goods. I have been working as a terrorism profiler for the aviation industry. So everywhere I went, people were involved. And I remember my mom saying that when I was a little girl, when she asked me, what do you want to be? My little sister always said, I want to be a flight attendant. And she actually became one. And the only answer I could give is I want to work with people, but I had no clue what. So now I end up working with people, and it's the people part that I like. It's the twinkle in the eye part that I like. I see a cool question about.
Yeah, it's a really cool question. So how do you do that?
Keep my energy on a daily basis. I have a performance, as a top sport athlete, we are drilled actually to work on our performance, but also to we know that if you want to have a peak performance, you have to rest before. So the week before we had a big tournament, we were actually doing almost nothing. We were resting. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, now you train really hard. And we said, no, we don't, because we really want to, get the energy and spare some, energy, because the tournament will be really heavy and we need the extra. So a balance between good rest, good sleep, taking good care of yourself. And I have a little saying. I always say, watch the 777.
Yeah.
7 glasses of water a day, 7 hours of sleep a day, and at least a 7-minute workout.
Yeah,
if you do that on a daily basis,
7 hours workout. Ooh.
at least a 7-minute workout or another workout. 7 glasses of water, and 7 hours of sleep. If you can do that on a daily basis, and usually I add at least 7 minutes of real mindful meditation,
Mm-hmm.
then I can assure you, you will keep your balance.
Yeah.
A daily routine really helps me.
Oh, I see. So people now you have the clue to how she comes to be like that. 777. I didn't know that, you know. So good for me too. Actually, I think I'm quite good on all these issues. Not the 7 glasses of water. I'm less. I have less than that. So I should really practice more with the glasses of water. Um, Cecile asked, "What was your previous job?" And she said, "Then you answered it. Actually, you weren't a professional." Sports girl, right? You that was not a
The
professional.
last real job I had in corporate was I was an aviation terrorism profiler for the cargo side of the aviation industry. So I did a lot for the people side, but also a lot on the cargo side. I actually was the one and first woman to do this. I usually found myself in conferences surrounded by 400 men,
Oh
being
my,
the woman there in the room, handed the paper and pens to and saying, "Oh, guys, sweetie, will you take the notes?" And then I would reply and say, "You better do that because I will be the person on stage telling you what to do next year." And they were like, "Oh no, you are. Oh, it's you. Yeah, it's me. Oh, I thought you were a man." I said, "No, sorry. Still."
I wish I had seen that look on the face, you know, when they were expecting a secretary or can you bring me some coffee? And then they realized you were the experts they had been summoned to listen to. Said no, that's I think that's a bit satisfactory. And Cecile agrees, of course, Cecile agrees on meditation because that's what she does. And she's one of the experts on the Speak Show from Carole Bozor. I think there are others who are present today from the Speak Show. Francis is. And so it's a show where we can unlock people's fear of speaking English through our own talks on our own subjects, and it's inspiring and it's opening up their minds. And Cecile is doing a great job. And she has another question: do you travel much?
Well, before the COVID, I did. I was traveling a lot. I was traveling a lot in my last job, and I found myself one day waking up in a hotel, bumping my head because I thought that was the open side of my bed, but it was actually the wall.
Yeah.
And then realizing that I didn't know where I was, so I went down to the lobby and I silly had to ask, like, "Where am I?"
Oh my,
And the
that
clerk,
must have been frightening.
oh, it was frightening. And the clerk just said, "In a hotel." And I was like, "Yeah, I know that. So far I was." And then I had to ask him the other silly question, "Okay, in which country?" Because I have no clue where I am anymore from the jet lag. So that was my turning point in thinking, okay, I have to do something else. I got 2 little foster kids, so I became a mom. And then I stopped traveling because especially for foster kids, I really wanted to be a mom. So I was an entrepreneur and a mom, both at the same time. But I downsized to travel a lot. But the last few years, on a monthly basis, at least 2, 3 times I'm gone. Sometimes for a few days, sometimes for a week. And it's a balancing act, especially when you're a mom, to be home on the right time in special occasions. But also, for instance, in Paris, I took my little girl with me, and I showed her Paris, and I saw Paris through her eyes, which was amazing. So to Manila, I took my husband. So I always try to share, if possible, the experience with my family, because I will want to be a role model for these girls. I want to show them that, first of all, working is absolutely fun, amazing if you follow your passion, that you can achieve anything if you follow your passion. But also, I want to show them my world and their world. They show me the world through their eyes. So we both learn, and it's amazing to drag them along.
That's what I do too, because when I go on many book fairs, as I'm a writer, and there are always book fairs with a feeling and ambience like medieval, and or heroic conventions. And my children, they love to attend, especially the Hero Festival, or the festival that is being held in February in Lyon, Yggdrasil Festival. And
Absolutely.
that's just beautiful, and it's really inspiring. And when you bring your daughters to inspiring talks, I'm sure it's really amazing for them too. So I think that's really cool. Well, they have cool moms, right? Don't they? I think
Yeah,
it's lucky.
I do. Absolutely. Yeah, a real mompreneur. Yes, I am. Absolutely. I am a better mom because I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a better entrepreneur because I can be a mom.
Yeah. So it's called Manpreneur. I love that. Okay, so now we're going to go to the section which is my favorite because, of course, I am an enchantress, as you do know, and I'm writing fiction that makes people look for the marvel in their life. And I wanted to ask you, what was the thing that you found really astonishing, wonderful recently in your life, or the person that inspires you, who inspired you, who really made you think, oh, that's really heroic, or that's really just out of normal what he or she did or what I lived. So I'm looking for these special moments in your life.
Well, the enchantment from the last few months were actually having my kids at home for 24/7, seeing them grow and adjust in such a fast pace to mommy school,
Mm.
being able to homeschool them, which I found, and I know a lot of people struggled with it, but for me it was a blessing because I could see what they were busy with, what they were dealing with, what they were good at. Usually you get like this 3, 4 times a year, you get this, you know,
Report.
but it doesn't tell you that much. And now
No.
I could see by my own eyes what they were struggling with, what they went through. So we actually went to my office, which was office school. We had so much fun and so much closeness. And for me, it was a blessing. I was every morning I looked at those faces and they would just sit down like it was the normalest thing in the world, open their books, and they would start their homeschooling. And they were just asking me questions like they did, like, this is a teacher, why not? And it was amazing to see them. And every day I would pinch myself, and I still do every day, like, I can be a mom because of these two beautiful creatures. I can learn so much of my own mistakes and stupid things you do as a mother, because of these two beautiful creatures. So that is one of the enchanting moments recently. If I go back way, way, way back,
Mhm.
it's my dad and my grandmother that I really look up to. And my dad has been a doctor for years. I know him as the most kind, hardworking entrepreneur the earth has ever seen, and still he was a dad. Still
Mm.
he was there for us. He always listened. He was always patient. He was always there for us. Same goes with my mom. My mom was, half a doctor too and half at home, raising 5 kids, two of her own, two adoptive kids, and one foster kid.
Mm.
Um, they really set that example that we
Yeah.
all should take care of the world, and we should take care of without them, and without my biological mother, who had the courage to give me up for adoption because she had no means to take care of me, which
Mhm.
is the most, I think, courageous thing to do as a mom, and it's the most heartbreaking thing to do.
Mm.
Because of them, I'm here. Because of them, I can be successful. I have a life. I had a chance in life, and I'm grateful for it every single day that
I
I
think
can be alive.
this is very inspiring, and this I've learned because I didn't know that so far, and I think it's so inspiring and so moving. I think that can help some people. Sometimes, we think we have it all, but that's because of choices people have made before us. And that's the country exists too. There are people who don't have anything, and we tend to maybe unknowingly despise what they are. But that's just because they didn't choose what would befall them, and that's unfair sometimes. So it's really generous to help the others the way your parents or you did, and it's nourishing too. It's
It
not
is
just
because
generous; it's helping you too being happy. So that's really important.
absolutely. A lot of people say to me when they hear that I'm a foster mom, "Oh, so good of you, you do this," and I say, "No, it's diverse. It's completely the opposite. I am blessed that I can be a mother because of them."
Mm.
Because of these two beautiful girls, I can be a mom. It's the biggest gift you can give me. So I don't see it as me doing something good for the world. They do something good for me. And
Mhm.
we have so
It's
much
an
love.
exchange. It's an
Oh
exchange.
yeah, absolutely. We have so much love with the three of us. We have so much fun with the three of us, and it's a learning curve and an experience. Every parent here knows that being a parent is the toughest job in the world, and sometimes I really don't like it, but it brings a lot too. And yeah, so speaking of enchantment, being a mom, being able to being a mom is after all I've been through, absolutely magical.
Okay, we only have a few minutes left, Joyce. It's going really fast. It's time's passing by. And we get to the favorite section of the people usually in this show, whether they are the guests or they are the participants in the show, is the time when we together, we are drawing a word cloud for my guest. So this is how you're going to do it. You're going to flash a code I'm going to share right now. Here it is. Okay, I guess you see it now. So either you flash this code with your cell phones, you flash the code and directly you access the word cloud, or you can type slido.com, enter the password SOS2906 because that's today's date, and then you enter a word that really symbolizes what you felt about my guest today, a word in her image. And then you can send it and then can send another one and another one. And together we are going to build this word cloud. And that's always a great moment. So I'm going to start too. There's no reason why you shouldn't play.
I want to play too.
No, you can't write a word about yourself. That's not possible. But you can play next time when it's Claire's turn to be in your seat.
Oh yeah, I can do that. I already know.
I already know too. A word or two.
I love to see the words. And I love to hear some questions too. 1%, yay! It just takes 1% to go from good to great, and it doesn't matter, even if it's your own championship. Twinkle in the eyes, yeah, positivity.
No, I love the twinkle in the eye stuff.
Courage, I love it.
Oh, the 3x7, they like that.
Yeah, the 777, yeah.
Yeah.
Inspiration, courage, positivity, kind. Thank you. That's so nice. Smiling, yeah. Yay, positivity.
Yeah. The ones who get bigger is the ones that have been written several times. Smiling has been written lots. Isn't it? And kind, mumpreneur, I love it. I feel like you get to remember that moment with those words because they're really your words, what you inspire the people throughout the words. Twinkle in the eyes, it's lovely. What did they add? Courage, mumpreneur, you can do it.
It's like smiling is so important. Nathalie, smiling. People always ask me, "Are you smiling the whole day?" And usually I do because it always sends a signal to your brain, and that gives you more energy too. And because your brain really lights up when you smile, so smiling is something really helpful. It's not a fake thing. I really smile because I really, every single morning when I wake up, I'm grateful that I wake up because being near that survivor, it is a huge honor and pleasure to wake up every morning. But yeah,
Oh,
positivity.
your word cloud is getting wonderful. You have the three greatest ones that have been typed most
You
times
can
are
do
positivity, smiling, inspiring, which is
it.
great.
Yeah,
3.7 is really coming back to passion, love, mom, clicking in there again, supporting each
I
other.
love it. You
Yeah.
can do it too. And the healthy mom passion. Great mom. Thank
Yes,
you.
mom, I think mom has been, said several times. So it's really cool that you're remembered uh, through that.
Supporting each other is also something I really, yeah, I really love that.
So I'm
Especially
really glad
in
you got this word cloud. It's really you, isn't it?
yeah.
And so that's the gift of this show. That's this show what it brings to the people. I'm going to send you the word cloud later. Don't worry, it's going to be a good memory of this show. And okay, it's going to we have 5 minutes left to maybe read your last messages in the chat box. So
Any
if you
questions,
want to say, yeah,
messages, questions? Yeah,
sure.
sure.
If you
Um,
have questions, if you have comments, if you want to say goodbye to our guests, if you want to wish us good holiday,
yeah,
because holidays are coming.
I'm going to move, so that's why I have an empty shelf behind me.
But that's
It's-
a lovely shelf. That's a lovely painting you have with the
yeah,
stone. I love
with
that.
it's a balancing act. But yeah, no, everything is in boxes. I'm living in between boxes now, and next week I have a new house. So.
So it's going to be a new beginning and great times. But that's not really holidays. So you should also take some time, some few days off just to really rest because I know I've been doing through many movings that it's really, really tiring. So you have a comment from Francis. Thanks to Dr. Joyce Carroll's was inspiring.
Thank you, Francis. And I love to connect to each and every one of you via LinkedIn or Instagram or whatever, because
Yeah,
I really
please
miss to be in
check
touch.
Joyce. Check Joyce, and I have tagged you in the presentation so they can connect on Facebook as well. Have a fabulous holidays and good move. Okay, that's really nice. Thank you guys. Plenty of energy. Lovely summer. That's really Cecile as well. I think
Yeah.
I should
Thanks
ask
for
her.
all your comments, also Cecile and Francis and Claire. It's really cool to see interaction. I love that, especially in Zoom. Sometimes in over online platforms, we miss the human interaction. But it's so nice to see all the comments coming in because then you know and you feel surrounded and supported, and that is, for me the best feeling ever. So thank you
And
for that.
check this place because many people are watching the show after, not during the live event. They are too busy maybe eating. It's food is sacred in France, so maybe that's the time where they're having their dinner. But there are a lot of them are watching it afterwards, and so sometimes they are sending comments, oh congratulations, etc. So don't hesitate to come back to watch them because it happens many times. Sometimes I think of tagging you to say, hey, have you seen this comment, this wonderful comment? So watch this space because it's not over yet. And so, people, I'm going to wish you a nice holiday too. I'm going to switch back to French for a few seconds. Joyce, don't worry. Oui, donc je vous laisse là pendant les 3 prochaines semaines. Les 3 prochaines semaines, je vais vous mettre des best-of. Donc, gardez bien ce rendez-vous du lundi à 20h. Je publierai les best-of tous les lundis à 20h. Vous verrez qu'il y a des moments un peu drôles. Voilà, je vais essayer de relier tout ça avec des thématiques. Et moi, je vous donne rendez-vous pour le prochain live avec Claire Boscott, qui sera elle aussi mon invitée internationale. Et j'espère que ça vous a fait du bien, ce petit show en anglais. Merci à vous qui l'avez regardé, parce que voilà, dans une langue étrangère, c'est toujours un peu plus difficile. Et merci de votre intérêt pour She's on Stage. Parlez de She's on Stage autour de vous, s'il vous plaît, pour mes invités. Je pense qu'elles le méritent. Okay, so Claire is saying, see you, 27. She's already got the date better than I do. And And many people are wishing us or me a nice holiday and a nice moving to you. Here
Merci.
you are. Yeah. Thanks. Love your smile. I think we both have a good, cool smile. We love smiling, don't we?
Yeah.
So
It's contagious.
this is time for to leave us, to leave you now, guys. So I'm going to project the little music again. I love this music, so please don't hesitate to add some comments and we can answer your questions if you didn't have the time to ask your questions. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Merci.